If you're a dad with small children, congratulations. You did what you promised yourself you would never do all throughout your 20s and early 30s. But here you are, and there's no turning back now, so you might as well buckle up and enjoy the ride. Being a dad of small children, you're definitely creeping up on a huge midlife crisis, unless you're one of those creepy grandpa dads. Anyway, at least you've got some money from the job you hate and you've decided to pour it into your hobby. Now, if you're watching this, your midlife crisis and Regretapalooza will no doubt include some expensive and awesome photo gear, and your kids are the obvious choice for testing out that new tech since your wife definitely doesn't have the patience for you to photograph her. So without further bloviation, I present to you the Angry Dad's top 5 tips for taking kid photos. Tip number 1. Don't bother. The best piece of advice I can offer you is to give up now. Don't even bother. You're better off taking pictures of the half-dead flowers in your backyard because your kids will instantly make you regret trying to get a half-decent photo. Let me paint a picture for you. You've just picked up that expensive retro-looking digital camera, and you've got the better lens too because you're definitely going to use it. So you decide you're going to take the kids to a ball game, and this time you're going to get some awesome pictures. I mean, how can you not get awesome pictures at a baseball game on a beautiful day? Anyway, you're halfway to the stadium when you hear your kid in the back seat crying out in agony. You've already driven for almost an hour and there's no way you're turning back now. So you just tell the kid to suck it up. 2 minutes later, he pukes all over the back seat of your car. And you, like a genius, decided to take your car, not mom's trashed kidmobile this time. So you're cleaning puke off your leather seats before your day has even begun. Or you decide to take the family to one of those military reenactments so you can watch a group of carnies play Union Soldier. I mean, here you can get some interesting photos of the historic cosplayers and snap something of value of the kids too, right? Wrong. First of all, you're going to chicken out when it comes to asking any of the carnies for a proper portrait like you always do. Secondly, your kids are screaming and yelling the whole time, complaining that they're hot, and since you gave them a snack in the car on the way, they've managed to cake their entire bodies in food and assorted filth, and they look like a couple of refugees. Makes for a great pic, right? No. Anyway, this is why you should just give up now. But if you want to continue torturing yourself, here's tip number 2. You're gonna need Sports Illustrated level autofocus. If you have small kids and you actually want a single photo that's in focus, don't bother buying a Fuji camera. You're better off to get a Nikon Z9 or a Canon R3 because otherwise you'll wind up with hard drives full of blurry photos. Getting a sharp image of 2 or more children in one frame is harder than photographing Usain Bolt riding an actual lightning bolt. So you better get some fast lenses while you're at it too. Even if you think you've got a sharp photo, it might look sharp on the little LCD screen, but trust me when I tell you that a Sony A1 is not overkill to take pictures of little Timmy and Sally running around the backyard. And anyway, you're going to start that photography side business you've always talked about for years, so the 10 grand you drop on that gear is really an investment, right? Tip number 3, remember that kids are just props to test out gear. As you continue your Euripidean photographic journey, you will find some comfort in the fact that kids are not actually the point of using your camera. I mean, I can count on one hand how many photos there are of me as a kid. It's 1. And I guarantee you that wifey's cell phone has at least 128 gigs worth of Johnny and Jane's photos. So it's important to keep in mind that your kids are really just props to test things like autofocus, film simulations, and lenses. If you wind up with a good picture of them, that's a miracle in itself. And it was definitely done by accident and not by any skill you might possess as a photographer. So thank your lucky stars for that and tell Sally to stand still while you test a bokeh on your new f1 lens and to stop whining about it already. I mean, how else can you figure out how to use the 30 autofocus modes in your new mirrorless camera unless those little urchins cooperate? And now that you're creeping up on 40, or that's what you keep telling people at least, all of those little icons are starting to blend together and look the same. Plus the text on that LCD screen is just ridiculously small. Anyway, Brendan and Brenda aren't going to melt for crying out loud, and another hour in the August sun without food or drink will be good for them in the long run. It builds character. Tip number 4, they can't crush your spirit if it's already dead. Little Jimmy and Julie will do their best to crush your spirit. Kids have a unique way of sucking the joy out of everything, especially if you ever decide to leave the house and do something fun. Believe me, you'll be in the car for about 5 minutes before massive regret sets in. But here's the good news. Can't hurt you if you're already dead inside. So before you go out for a day of family fun and photos, my advice is to remind yourself that your dreams already died a long time ago. Right around the time you took that temporary job you're still at 15 years later. So it's time to develop a stoic mindset and be the Marcus Aurelius of your household, who so wisely advises us to think like we're already dead. Can't hurt a corpse. And let's be honest, your current photos already make other people want to die, so you might as well join the party. Tip number 5, enjoy it while it lasts. Let me level with you. Little Rufus and Rhoda are growing fast. And you're not getting any younger either, bud. Plus, if you found a woman who has the stomach to live with you on a long-term basis, you've already hit the jackpot. Not only that, but she's also letting you spend thousands of dollars on photographic equipment you definitely don't need, and she's okay with it. So my final piece of advice is to enjoy it while it lasts. Your kids are at that perfect age where they can wipe their own butts, but still think it's fun to have daddy take thousands of pictures of them. This ain't gonna last. In fact, you're gonna wake up real soon and find that the last thing they want is to be seen with you and photographed by you. I mean, it's bad enough if you're rocking dad jeans, but it's so much worse if you're hipster dad with a scraggly beard and skinny jeans. In either case, adding a large, ridiculous-looking camera to the mix is going to have your entire family cringing every time you leave the house together. So enjoy those beautiful little faces smiling up at you. And even if your photos are blurry, it's still better than the one Polaroid you have from your own childhood. Well, if you've made it this far, I hope you've enjoyed this tongue-in-cheek rant about being a dad and taking pictures of kids. And I hope that you have a great day with your camera. And remember, it's all not that bad. In fact, more often than not, you'll have fun going out for a day with the family. So don't be afraid to lug that Sony with you, because you know what? No one else is doing it these days, so you might as well be the guy with the camera and the grip and the 2.8 lens. Otherwise, we're just going to be surrounded by people with cell phones, and nobody wants to live in that world. So here's wishing you a great day, everyone. Go out and take some pictures, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.